Good morning, everyone. My name is Hamzate Dragon, and I'm going to report weathering. And from the word weathering, it talks about weather. And it talks about how weathering can affect our natural resources, our rock formations, and any minerals that were beneath the Earth's surface. And weathering, it simply means that every rocks or every minerals that were exposed, it is actually changes the color, the texture, and the composition of rock or mineral. And the weathering, it is breaking down or dissolving of rocks or minerals on Earth's surface. Once the rock has been broken down, this process called erosion. Its erosion or the erosion it transports the bits of rocks and minerals away. And there are three types of weathering. The first is physical weathering. Next is chemical weathering. And the last one is biological weathering. Physical weathering is caused by the effect of changing the temperature in the rock that causes the rock to break apart. The best example is water. Water can seep on crack and crevices on the rock. When the temperature is low enough to make the water freeze, the water freezes, expands, and it slowly widens the cracks and split the rocks. When the ice melts, liquid water performs the act of erosion by carrying away the tiny rocks fragments lost by the split. Next is chemical weathering. Chemical weathering changes the molecular structure of rocks and soil. The best example is carbonation. Carbon dioxide from the air and soil combined with water, this process called carbonation. This process produces a weak acid. That weak acid called carbonic acid. Carbonic acid can dissolve rocks, especially effectively from limestones. When carbonic acid seeps through limestone underground, it can open huge cracks and it can be dissolved the limestone. And sometimes the chemical weathering dissolves a large portion of limestone, and it may help it can make a land a landscape, and that landscape called karst. And the example is the famous landscape in China called Shilin. Shilin has hundreds of slender, sharp tower of weathered limestones, and it is came from the chemical weathering. The last one is biological weathering. Biological weathering is the weakening and subsequent disintegration of rocks by plants, animals, and microbes. And the best example is trees and other plants or other plants. I'm very sure that you have been seen a sidewalk that's cracked by a tree root. The roots of trees, grasses, and other plants can grow into small spaces and gaps in rock. When these roots grow, they exert pressure on the rock around them, causing the gaps to widen or even crack. Plant roots can also weather rock through chemical processes. When dead roots decompose, they release carbon dioxide. This is sometimes converted into carbonic acid, which chemically breaks down rock into soil. And another example is microbes. Not all biological weathering occurs visibly. Many microorganisms in the soil and on the surface of rock can contribute. Some bacteria derive nutrition by taking a combination of nitrogen from the air and minerals, such as silica, phosphorus, and calcium from rock. By removing these minerals, rock is weakened and is further subject to other weathering forces, such as wind, water, lichens, symbiotic colonies of fungi, and microscopic algae that grow on rock. Also contributes to weathering. The fungi in a lichen produce chemicals that break down the minerals in the rock. The algae, like the bacteria, use these minerals for nutrition. The last example is animals. Animals can also contribute to weathering. Animals can walk on rock or disturb it, causing landslides that scrape or smooth rock surfaces. Burrowing animals such as badgers and moles can break up rock underground or bring it to the surface, where it is exposed to other weathering forces. Some animals directly burrow into the rock. The peduncle is mollusk closely related to the clam that uses its shells to cut hole in rock where it lives. As animals, humans also contribute to biological weathering. Construction, mining, and quarrying break up and disturb large section of rock. Foot traffic over rock causes friction. The breaks of tiny particles over a long period foot traffic can cause significant wear and tear on rock surface. That's all. Thank you.